my man. Can you bring me up? Are we ready to go? Well, pleasant good afternoon, everyone. J.C. Miles with you on the Panther website, FloridaTechSports.com, along the SSC Digital Network. Welcome back for the second game of our Sunshine State Conference doubleheader between Tampa and Florida Tech. Tampa taking the first game today by a score of 6-0. They scored single runs in the first and third. They added two more in the sixth and two more in the ninth. That was more than enough for the combined three-hit shutout by Caney and Brodsky. Caney went 7 innings, allowed just 3 hits. He walked 1, struck out 6. And then Brodsky came in for the final 2 innings, allowed just a walk and 2 strikeouts as he faced 7 batters. Danny Vasallo was the loser, 4 runs, 15 hits, allowed in 6 2/3 innings. Panthers really didn't do much in this game. They had 3 base runners in the first 2 innings, and they only had 2 after the second inning. Really couldn't put anything together substantial. In fact, they only had 2 runners reach second base. So they're going to try and do better against this very talented Tampa club, and they're going to do it with Dylan Cleveland on the mound. So let's take a look at the lineup that Tampa's going to have facing Dylan Cleveland. Again, Tampa under the direction of Joe Urso in his 23rd season. Tampa is now 26-7 on the year, and they're 14-2. Actually make it 15-2 in the conference. So Jordan Lalo will lead off, playing center field. Batting second will be the first baseman, Drew Earhart. Hitting third, playing shortstop, is J.D. Urso. Batting in the 4th position in right field, E.J. Cumbo. Batting fifth, playing third base, is Anthony Nunez. Hitting sixth will be the left fielder, Jamarcus Lyons. Batting seventh, the catcher, Santiago Garavito. Hitting eighth at second base is Nico Saladino. And batting ninth, making his debut in the starting lineup of this series, is the DH, Luis Rodriguez. Paul Sullivan's going to be the mound opponent for Dylan Cleveland. We'll talk more about him in the bottom of the first inning. But here come the Tampa Spartans trying to sweep this 3-game series. They swept the 3-game series last year over in Tampa. In fact, they outscored the Panthers 38-7. The Panthers doing a little bit better in the run scoring, but again, Tampa winning the first 2 games. So Dylan Cleveland about to deliver the first pitch at 5:09 Eastern Time. And the pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Lala, very productive game in Game 1. Went 3 for 3, a walk, an RBI single, and a couple of runs scored. Pitch by Cleveland is waved out and missed, and it's a strike 2 count on Jordan Lala. We'll give the Panthers defensively in just a moment. Slight breeze blowing in from Old Glory and straightaway center field. Outfield straightaway. Schnarr in center, straightaway against Lala. And the 2-strike pitch by Cleveland is in for a call, strike 3. So Jordan Lala looks at 3 pitches, and he is done. And now bring up Drew Earhart, the first baseman. Now, same defensive lineup for Florida Tech, except for one change here in game number 2. Alec Eldridge playing first base, Jason Blackstone at second, Gabe Garrett the shortstop, Gavin McGowan is around at third. The pitch is outside for a ball 1 to Drew Earhart, the first baseman. Outfield is the same, Brett Kelly in left, Sam Schnarr is in center, Cole Patrick in right. Andre Suarez caught the first game for Florida Tech, so Tate Hansen, who's been pretty much the regular catcher most of the year, he is back behind the dish. And again, he is catching Dylan Cleveland. The pitch by Dylan is in for a ball. Wow. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch by Cleveland is ripped, and that's fair, down the left field line, and Earhart will get at least 2 out of this. As he turns first, he will coast into second with a double. Hitting it sharply past McGowan. Again, in Game 1, Tampa had 17 hits. 14 of them were singles. They did have a couple of doubles, and they had a home run. So Earhart gets a double here. Here's the shortstop, J.D. Urso. So Earhart in Game 1 went 3 for 5. All singles. Urso over the plate. J.D. hit into 2 double plays, but he also did get a single and a walk. Cleveland checking the runner at second. The pitch is a high pop-up. That's our first Dave Kingman special in game number 2. As Gabe Garrett, settling under it on the grass, makes the catch. So Urso is retired, 2 away here in the first inning. That'll bring up the right fielder, E.J. Cumbo. As far as Dylan Cleveland, 3-3 record, a 5.31 earned run average. This is his 10th start. That puts him in a tie with Mitch Harding for the team lead in most starts. He's allowed 46 hits in 40 2/3 innings. He's given up 30 runs, 24 of the 30 earned. He has walked 14, and he has struck out 24. The pitch on the way is sliced foul over the left side, strike 1 on E.J. Cumbo with Anthony Nunez on deck. So Cleveland again, 24 strikeouts, 14 walks, so not quite a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, but still in his favor. He's allowed 4 home runs on the year, and opponents are batting .289 against him. The 0-1 pitch is waved out and missed. Wicked pitch of the outside corner by Cleveland. So Dylan, pretty much 3 pitches, fastball, slider, and a changeup. And E.J. Cumbo, the batter, runner on second. He is dancing a little bit off of second, and Cleveland doesn't like that. He steps off the rubber. So Earhart is trying to get Cleveland's attention. Not really any bird dogging by the Panther middle of the infield. Cleveland has 2 outs, should really focus on the batter. And there's a ground ball, wide of first. Eldridge will flip it to Cleveland. Close play at first, but he's out, and the inning is over. So a 3-1 put out. So Cleveland survives the first after the 1-out double by Earhart. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We played 1/2 an inning. It is Tampa 0 and Florida Tech coming up to the plate. Again, J.C. Miles with you, FloridaTechSports.com. Again, my 18th year of doing the broadcast. The season is winding down. Florida Tech's only going to have 5 more home games. They're going to have back-to-back regional games against Sunshine State Conference opponents Eckerd and Florida Southern in the not-too-distant future. And then they're going to have Florida Southern come back for the 3-game series very late in the year. In fact, I think that's the final series of the regular season. Florida Tech still holding out hope that they can get in the postseason, but again, they're going to have to string together some wins. So looking at the Panther lineup on the direction of second-year head coach Jeff Tam. Panthers, after losing the first 2 games of the series, now 20-14 overall, 9-8 in the Sunshine State Conference. We'll have to see if Florida Tech is going to hold on to 4th place. In fact, they probably will, because the only other game going on today is Florida Southern and Lynn. So Florida Tech can't really move down to the standings. They'll probably still be in 4th place, win or lose in this next game. So for the Panthers, pretty much the same lineup except for 1 change. Gabe Garrett once again will lead off and play short. Batting second, the second baseman is Jason Blackstone. Hitting third, playing first base, is Alec Eldridge. Batting at the 4th position, playing designated hitter, that's Josh Ford. Hitting 5th in left field is Brett Kelly. Batting 6th in right field is Cole Patrick. Batting in the 7th spot, the center fielder, Sam Schneer. Hitting 8th is Tate Hansen, the catcher. Tate did not catch game number 1, so he's back in the lineup. And Gavin McGowan will bat 9th and play third base. So McGowan batted 8th in game number 1. Schneer batted 9th, and Schneer's been bumped up 2 spots to the number 7 position. On the mound for Tampa is Paul Sullivan. And for Paul, this is actually his first start of the year, so he's been used exclusively in the bullpen. This is his 11th appearance, first start, 0-2 record, and a 1.86 earned run average. He has 2 saves out of the bullpen. That's second on the team. He's allowed 13 hits in 19 and 1/3 innings. The pitch to Garrett is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Garrett. Sullivan's allowed 4 runs, all of them earned in 19 and 1/3 innings of work. He has walked 5, struck out 26. The pitch is way outside to the backstop. No harm done, nobody on base. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So strikeout to walk ratio for Sullivan, very good. 26-5, a little bit more than 5-1. And opponents just batting 194 against him. This one is lifted into center field for a base hit. J.D. Urso went up for the big leap, but he would have had to have been about 10 feet tall to make that play. So Garrett with a bloop single to left center field. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jason Blackstone. So Garrett, after going 4 for 6 last night, went 0 for 4 in the first game of the doubleheader, so he gets his first hit of the afternoon. Jason Blackstone comes up. Jason went 1 for 4 in Game 1. Again, Florida Tech only had 3 hits. The combined shutout by Caney and Brodsky. The pitch hit for a called strike, 0-1 on Blackstone. So Blackstone in the series, 3 for 4. Again, 1 for 4 in Game 1, 2 for 4 last night. And pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. Panthers had 1 steal in game number 1. It was by Kelly. Tampa had 2 steals, Gutcher and Lala. Gutcher not in the lineup in this game. Pitch missed for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Panthers are 33 for 42 in steals. And the pitch. High fly ball down the left field line. Looks like it might be playable. Lyons is over in foul territory and makes the catch. And cushions himself against the left field wall. A foul ball all the way, and made a nice catch. So Blackstone is retired. 1 away. That'll bring up the first baseman, Alec Eldridge. Eldridge, after going 2 for 5 last night, went 0 for 4 in the first game of the doubleheader. Well, he's been on a pretty good streak lately. He's 6 for his last 15. Alex has kind of had an up and down season, a little streaky at times. Pickoff attempt, and the runner gets back. Still a 305 average, 28 RBIs, led the team coming into action today. He did not have an RBI in Game 1. Waved at and missed, swung on and missed. And the count is strike 1 on Alec Eldridge. Kevin Flay is our home plate umpire. We got Chris Pittman on the bases. Chris currently in the grass at second base, right behind Sullivan. And pitch in for a called strike, and Eldridge buying the count 0-2 against Sullivan. So against Sullivan, 0-2 record, but a 1.86 earned run average. Again, first start of the year, everything else in relief. The pitch is chopped foul down the first base side. And the count remains 0-2 on Alec Eldridge. Again, out of Indian Harbor Beach, Satellite High. Global Management Finance major. That is certainly out of my ballpark. So Sullivan with a glance over to see how long Garrett is leading, or how far. And reached for by Eldridge, outside pitch, and he fouls it off. So 2 strikes to count on Eldridge. Josh Ford is in the on-deck circle. And the 2-strike pitch. A little bit inside. Eldridge taking a close pitch. It's a ball, and it's 1-2. Well, again, Tampa was picked number 1 in the Sunshine State Conference preseason poll. That is for the 16th time in the last 17 years, and they're certainly in the running along with Rollins. That ball's chopped foul and out of play. It's going to be tough for Florida Southern and Florida Tech to catch either Rollins or Tampa. I think Rollins and Tampa might go down all the way to the end. Keep in mind, Rollins would be the higher seed if they won the conference, or if they tied. They took 2 out of 3 for the Spartans. Pitch outside for a ball, and it's 2-2. You know, it's interesting. Last year, Tampa took 2 out of 3 from Rollins in the regular season, then lost the Super Regional, and Rollins taking 2 out of 3 so far this year. Ball's fouled off and out of play. Again, Rollins, on the baseball side, they've gone through really a lot of lean years, but certainly last year, what a step up. I mean, 3rd place at the World Series, and, you know, good for John Sjogren. Good baseball man, good human being. I mean, I really enjoy my chats with him, and good to see him have a good season last year. There's eye chopper to first, and that'll be a first base unassisted. And runner goes to second. So again, Drew Earhart making the play, 3 unassisted. So Eldridge retired. To second goes Garrett. So again, the Panthers, can they get a run in? Again, they were shut out in game number 1. They did score 11 last night. They could have had more. So here's Ford, who's had a bit of a difficult series. He has struck out 4 times in the series, including 3 times last night. The sweeping breaking ball misses by Sullivan. It's ball 1. Ford in game 1 was over 2, and then he was pinch hit for by Parrish in the 7th. Pitch in for a called strike, and it's 1-1 on Josh Ford. Again, Ford has struggled in this series, but really not overall at the plate. Again, came in batting .380. A home run and 16 runs batted in. The pitch is another slider outside, and it's a 2-1. Well, again, there are only a couple of pitchers on the Tampa staff that throw a natural curve. Mostly everybody is fastball, slider, change, and Sullivan in that category. There's a fastball, and it's fouled off right at the plate by Ford. And now run the count to 2-2. So Brett Kelly on deck, Gabe Garrett on second, hoping to be delivered in here by Ford. Again, Josh has 16 runs batted in for the year. He'd love to make it 17 here. Pitch is outside for a ball. Again, Florida Tech had a 8-3 lead last night at the end of 1 inning, but it was only 1 inning. I mean, definitely Tampa after that got things going, and Florida Tech's offense slowed down. The 3-2 pitch is outside, ball 4. Good eye by Ford. Again, tough series, striking out the number of times he has, and he gets a walk here. So first walk allowed by Sullivan. Sullivan is 6'2", 200-pound senior right-hander from Montvale, New Jersey. He's a transfer from Iona, which makes me think of Rick Pitino. The pitch is inside for a ball. I guess Rick Pitino didn't have to move. He went from Iona and took the St. John's job. I don't know if he lives in New Rochelle, but his commute won't be terrible. Pitch on the way is swung on a miss. Iona making the basketball tournament. Again, he transfers Sullivan from Iona. The breeze picking up a bit, blowing out toward left center. The Panthers have runners on first and second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. The pitch is a ground ball third. They go to second for the middle runner, and that's the inning. So that'll be a 5-4 fielder's choice, hit in by Brett Kelly. And the Panthers threaten, but they leave 2, so no runs, 1 hit, a walk, 2 left. We've played 1. Again, we're scheduled for 9. We are scoreless, and we'll be back. This is Panther Baseball, Florida Tech Sports. All right, we are back, and Jeff Tam has gone to the bullpen once again. Tyler Vermillion will come in for the Panthers. Vermillion, a right-hander. Good size on him, 6'3", 225 junior out of Mineola, South Lake High, and a transfer from the College of Charleston. You know, I picked them to win that first-round game in the men's tournament, and they lost. Oh, well. I think Virginia beat them. So that's where Vermillion is from, a transfer from the College of Charleston. Let's check the Vermillion numbers. So Tyler is 4-0. That's the good news. The ERA is a little bit high, though, 7.2. 11th appearance, 21 hits allowed in 20 innings of work, 16 runs, all earned. He's walked 6, struck out 15, so about a 2.5 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio, and opponents are batting .273 against him. Let's see if Vermillion pitched in the series last weekend against Eckert, and he did. That was the game that Florida Tech lost last Friday night, 11-3. Vermillion followed Mitch Harding, who picked up the loss of that game. So Vermillion only pitched 1/3 of an inning. He managed to pitch 1/3 of an inning and actually throw 23 pitches for 1/3 of an inning. That's a lot. Gave up 2 runs, both of them earned on 3 hits, walked 2, didn't strike out anybody, had 1 wild pitch. So again, Vermillion out of Mineola. And his first batter, pitch in for a called strike, is Nico Saladino, the second baseman. Nico, 2 for 4, 2 singles, RBI single in the third, single, and a run scored in the second. So 11-4 in favor of Tampa. 11 runs, 18 hits, 4 runs, 10 hits for Florida Tech. Change up outside for a ball, and it's a ball 1. So Vermillion, 3 pitches, fastball, slider, and changeup. And the pitch is inside for a ball, 2-1. Just a little bit of a breeze blowing. I mean, it's really turned out to be a great day on the back end. Again, on the front end, I was out there for women's lacrosse, started pouring rain. And then it stopped, and then it came back. 2-1 pitch is hitting the hole, base hit, past the diving Blackstone in the right. Patrick picks it up, throws it back in, so he singled to lead off the top of the 9th inning by Nico Saladino. So that is hit number 18 for, or actually 19 for Tampa. So that is the 36th hit they have had today. And you tack on the 15 for last night. Well, that's a lot of hits. That is 51 hits for the weekend. That should win you 3 games, and that's what could happen here probably in the next few minutes, barring a miraculous Panther rally. Pitches in for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Luis Rodriguez, who has had a pretty good game, 2 RBI double back in the second. Pitches outside for a ball, and it's 1-1 on Rodriguez. So Florida Tech barring that rally in the 9th inning. They'll just have to try and regroup, and they'll have a nice trip to Miami Shores on Friday and play 3 games against the Buccaneers. Changeup misses for a ball. Again, Barry having a pretty decent season. I mean, the conference record is 9-9, which isn't horrible. They are 25-12 overall, so having a pretty good year, but Florida Tech ahead of them by 1 game in the standings coming into today. And did that hit him? Yes, it did. And that'll be a hit batter. Rodriguez gets hit by the Vermillion pitch, and Saladino will go down to second. So back to the top of the batting order, and Jordan Lala. Jordan is 1 for 5 in this game. Had a very good first game, though. Went 3 for 4 and a walk. The pitch to Lala is in for a called strike, and it's a strike 1 on Jordan. And Lala transfer at the University of Miami, a local product out of Tampa. George Steinbrenner High School. The pitch is high for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. But I'll tell you, the legacy of George Steinbrenner, a complicated man, a good man in some ways, and not the nicest guy evidently to work for in the Yankees front office in the 70s. Pitches in for a ball. When you talk about influential figures off the field as far as ownership over about a 30 to 40 year period, I think George Steinbrenner would be in the conversation. Ball pitches missed for a ball, and it's at 2-1. Again, did a lot of great things for Tampa. He had the shipbuilding thing going on when he bought the Yankees from Michael Burke in 1973. Pitch in for a called strike, 3-2. So the people in Tampa generally loved him. Again, high school named after him. So it'll be a 3-2 by Vermillion. That ball's lifted out to center field. It's deep, but Schnarr has it lined up. Runner tagged at second. He'll move to third. Here comes the throw, but it'll be late. Pretty good throw, though, by Schnarr, but he was deep in center field. Threw it in on one hop to McGowan at third. And here's Drew Earhart, the first baseman. Drew has actually a double and 2 singles. He is 3 for 5. Has a run scored as well. And the pitch is outside and low for a ball. I think the sun is finally beginning to set. Lights taking full effect. Again, beautiful evening on this April the 8th. Again, in the Northeast, still pretty too cold to play baseball, but they are playing it. Pitch in for a called strike. Mets and Marlins had a late afternoon game that's probably close to finishing, barring extra innings. Pitch is swung on and missed. Again, the Mets opened up their home season yesterday after being rained out on Thursday. And I heard that the temperature at the first pitch was 55. I mean, that's not too bad for April 8th in the Northeast in New York. Here it's probably in the 70s, but just really a beautiful evening. It'll be a 1-2 by Vermillion to Earhart. In the dirt, nice block there by Hansen. And the count at 2-2. This game roughly is about 2.5 hours old, not too bad. First game took 2 hours and 19 minutes. Last night, 3 hours and 42 minutes. That was a little bit longer. Oh, it hit him. Boy, another hit batter. So Earhart is hit by the pitch. So we've had a lot of different things in this series. We've had a lot of wild pitches. We've had a lot of hit batters. And we've had way too many times where Tampa has the bases loaded. Here's J.D. Urso. So 2 hit batters in the inning by Vermillion. He hit Rodriguez. Now he hits Earhart. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Here's J.D. Urso. He is 3 for 5, a double, 2 singles, and 2 runs scored. And the pitch by Vermillion is fouled off by an home plate and to the right. So strike 1 on J.D. Urso. J.D., like his dad, a Plant High School grad. That's where Papa Joe went many, many years ago in the late 80s. And what did Joe Urso do at Plant High School? Of course, he led his team to a state championship. That was the start of things turning to gold for Mr. Urso. Ground ball chopped foul down the left field line. So, I mean, just translating that career. State championship, high school as a player. Goes to Tampa, wins a national title. 23rd year as head coach. He's won 5 national titles. Minor League championship, Lake Elsinore, 1996, California League. I might be missing something. Chopper foul down the left field line. Again, Joe did not make the big leagues, but spent 4 years in the Angels organization. And a good player. I mean, not a great player. I guess if he was great, he would have made the big leagues. But, a good player. I mean, .331 career hitter. Pitch is in. Oh, that just missed. Vermillion kind of staring at the plate, wondering, I thought that was a strike. Well, it wasn't. 1-2. Again, we got Sewell playing at first for Eldridge. He is not holding the runner on. Runners lead first, second, and third. A 1-2 by Vermillion is a changeup on the inside corner, in for a called strike 3. That looked like more like a ball, and the other one looked like a strike. So Urso called out on strikes. And here's E.J. Cumbo. So Vermillion has a chance to get out of this unscathed, but he has to get by Cumbo. E.J. has been on base 4 times in this game. 2 singles, a walk, and a fielder's choice. The pitch is inside for a ball. Ball 1 on Cumbo. So we got Saladino on third, Rodriguez on second, Earhart on first. Sewell playing a very deep first base, wide of the bag. There's a fly ball deep down the right field line, but hooking foul into the Farmer Hall parking lot. Not too many balls go into that parking lot. You really got to hook it severely to get it over there. Again, Hartley Hall, Farmer Hall, the unnamed hall, looking great as the sun is setting. 3 really beautiful dormitories. I'll tell you, 18 years ago, I think those were being built. It'll be a 1-1 by Vermillion. That one lifted to center field. Schneier has it lined up. It's deep, but he makes the catch. Shy of the warning track, and that ends the inning, and Vermillion able to get out of the inning without any runs being scored. So, no runs on 1 hit. There were 2 hit batters, and thusly 3 men left on base. So, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Tampa up by 7, 11-4, looking to sweep this 3-game series for the 2nd consecutive year. All right, we're going to keep it here and give you some more of these great baseball quotes. Here's one from one of the great hitting coaches in baseball history. There are 2 theories on hitting the knuckleball. Unfortunately, neither one of them works. Charlie Lau. When you talk about the great hitting coaches from the last 40 to 50 years, Charlie Lau might be number 1. Boy, he tutored a lot of great hitters. Here's one from a very good pitcher who looked like he should have been a college professor, and you never would have known this guy was a great major league pitcher if he walked down the street in a big city. If you make good pitches, you get good hitters out. If you make bad pitches, you can't get bad hitters out. I love that quote. Greg Maddux, a really good pitcher for the Braves, obviously. Not a power pitcher, just a very smart guy. Of course, you know, you think about the Braves during that time. Maddux, Smoltz, and Glavine. Almost forgot about Tom Glavine there. Here's one more. This is just a fact about Ted Williams. Ted Williams won the AL Triple Crown in 1942 and 47. But he did not win the MVP award either year. I mean, how can you win the Triple Crown and not win the MVP? Well, that happened to Williams. So there you have it. All right, pinch hitting is Joseph Fan here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Florida Tech needs to get a whole bunch of base runners. Again, they're down by 7, so Fan is pinch hitting for Garrett at the top of the batting order. Pitch is outside for a ball 1. Got another pinch hitter on deck. Boy, we haven't seen much of Roman Sampson lately. Thought maybe he was hurt, but he's got a pinch hit coming up next. Pitch in for a called strike. Fan comes in for the year, 6 for 22, 273 average. Swung on and missed, 1 and 2. Has 5 RBIs. This one is fouled off and out of play. And swung on and missed. Fan strikes out. So Sampson comes up. Looking back on my sheets here, he's not been in the lineup for 5 consecutive games. Last time Sampson played was the Final game of a series against Embry-Riddle. So Sampson pitch hitting here for Blackstone, and swinging strike one on him. He fouls it off, and he's in a hole, no balls, and 2 strikes. Austin Sewell is on deck. Again, he pitched hit for Eldridge earlier in the game, and he will bat next. It'll be a 2-strike pitch. There's a pop-up foul straight back out of play. Again, Dalton Ross out of Statesboro, Georgia, on the hill for Tampa. Again, he kind of comes from the side. There's a weak ground ball up the first base side. It's going to stay fair. And the tag play applied on Sampson by Earhart, 2 outs. So Florida Tech down to their final out of Wissahickon. And here's Austin Sewell. And Austin Sewell pitched hit for Eldridge in the 7th inning, and Sewell hit his first home run of the season. So you can feel very good about that. And the pitch is on the outside corner, in for a strike. And a roller hit wide of third, throw to first will be in time, and the game is over. The series is over, and the Tampa Spartans have come to Melbourne and swept the 3-game series against Florida Tech. Get the totals before they take them off the scoreboard. All right, so Tampa, with the winning totals, 11 runs on 19 hits. They have committed 0 errors. And for Florida Tech, 4 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. So Tampa sweeps the series. They improved to 27-7 on the year. They improved to 16-2 in the conference. So Tampa actually gains a game on Idle Rollins. They are 1 game up on Rollins in the SSC standings. So Tampa again having another banner season, and Florida Tech, they fall to 9-9. Tampa, but Florida Tech should hold on to. They will hold on to 4th place because again, St. Leo is idle. St. Leo will be. Actually, they'll be close to tied with St. Leo. So let's do a quick wrap up of this one, and they will bid you adios until the back-to-back regional games coming up very soon here against Florida Southern and Eckerd. So. Tampa scored 3 in the 2nd. They got a solo homer by Nunez to highlight that inning, along with a 2 RBI double by Rodriguez. They added 3 more in the 3rd inning, RBI single Saladino, RBI double Garavito. They would add 4 more in the 6th. Big hit in that inning, a 2 RBI double by Lyons. In the meantime, Florida Tech just single runs in the 4th and 5th. RBI single McGowan in the 4th. Solo homer Ford in the 5th. And then Austin Sewell again pitch hitting for Eldridge. 2-run homer in the 7th, but it wasn't nearly enough. Florida Tech loses it 11-4. So, again, the Panthers dropped to 9-9 in conference, and they dropped to 20-15 overall. Again, you can follow the Panthers on the road next weekend in Miami Shores. They'll take on Barry, FloridaTechSports.com. You can either watch the game live or follow the live stats. All right, that'll do it for today. I'm J.C. Myles. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you soon. This is FloridaTechSports.com, and happy Easter.